right? Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
Yeah, that's the Gregorian calendar.
Right.
Yeah.
So they name all the days and the months after gods, or even like Julius Caesar is July.
So we gotta, because our people want astrologers. They were astronomers.
That's right. Absolutely. Exactly.
So that's how we
to read it. Right.
So even in this captivity that we're in, when we're amongst a Gregorian calendar like that, we still use the
but there's still
and on top of that, with this calendar system, it's not based off the moon; it's based off the sun. That's why they have
we don't use this calendar system, right?
Yeah.
Well, like the world does.
Yep.
But when you determine, like with Pesach, it's like the month of the Aviv, right? Which is the first month ahead of the year. That's how we determine our feasts, right? And our holy days, right? Like Sukkot, and all those types of things. I don't know if you guys all are holding to the feast, the proper feast, right? So I mean, that's. You know what? There's actually a great calendar that when you determine the head of the month, are you going by the head of the month as determined by the new moon in Israel or in Jerusalem, or are you going by just where everybody is at that time?
The new moon as it is in this captivity. Yeah.
But we have the ability now to determine the head of the month from the Holy Land, right? Which has totally been Christianized and all these types of things, which we got to get away from.
It said that we're supposed to obey the Sabbath day, even no matter where we are at that time.
That's right.
We actually have to, even though we have that technology to do that, we should by the Sabbath where we are at the time. If we were without that technology, except we would.
All right. Well, you still, and absolutely, and even with the festivals, right? How do you determine if the barley is a beef in Jerusalem? Living in Grand Rapids in 1859, and you can't exactly get on the internet and find what it is. But now the technology is much better. But I definitely believe.
But we don't really need the technology because we have the moon. Oh yeah, of course not.
So isn't it funny though that after 9/11, we won't even talk about that.
the government setup you're talking about.
Inside to the inside.
Yeah.
So actually, I do have one question. I'm like, you said that you don't fully agree as far as the new moon, like as far as basing the Sabbath off from the new moon.
The weekly Sabbath,
Weekly Sabbath?
Yeah.
So basically, okay, explain your take on the month of Abib or the Passover.
Okay. So
like
how we determine it?
Yes. Okay,
so obviously the first month of the head of the year is the month of Aviv, right? Depends how you pronounce it. And so the month, like there's two reckonings of the time, right? You have the lunar, right, which is when we see the very first slice of the moon, right? And that's how we determine the head of the month. And that's why sometimes days are added, and sometimes there's a 13th month added. If you look back in Israel, they had to sometimes add an extra month in there because if
but we didn't never do 13 months. Because if we did, then it would have been a name for it. But we never did 13 months.
There's month 13. There's an extra. If you look in the Old Testament, right?
Where at?
If you look in the Tanakh.
Where at? I mean, you know the you don't know the scripture offhand.
But I can quote the scriptures. I just have to take a look at it.
I tell you what, we here every weekend, every Saturday at 3 o'clock or 3:30.
Yeah, I'm not from here. I leave tomorrow, but that's why I want to.
Whenever you see it, this is where we at.
Good.
Yeah.
So what do you guys know?
This is Exodus 13, verse 3. Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which he came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage, by strength of hand. There shall no unleavened bread be eaten. This day will be out in the month of Abib. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee the Canaanites, thy fathers to give thee a land flowing with milk and honey, and thou shalt keep this service in this month.
Right? That's the Passover.
Alright, okay. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, and then the seventh day shall be a feast unto the Lord.
Right, that's the high Sabbath.
So from that
Separate
first,
from the weekly Sabbath, though.
No, it's the same.
No, it's not.
It's the same thing.
It's
Day,
not.
that's the last day of the Sabbath.
Right.
No, it's not though, because
Because it starts the day after the Sabbath. Then it goes 7 days, and then it ends again back on the Sabbath.
Yeah, but the high Sabbath and the
That's the
feast,
Passover.
the high Sabbath and the feast are not the same as the weekly Sabbath.
Can I ask where you learned from?
What's that?
Can I ask where you learned from?
Where I learned from?
Yeah.
I learned from the scriptures.
I mean, who do you learn from? Everybody has.
Who taught you?
I like to think that I seek guidance.
So you
from
got
him,
this.
right? But I mean, we look
you
at.
got this knowledge all on your own. Nobody taught you. You just read the Bible.
But we all know scriptures. I mean,
It'll be all right.
yeah. I mean, you ever heard of Arthur Bailey? You know who Arthur Bailey is?
Arthur Bailey.
He used to be. He actually was from Grand Rapids. He moved down to Charlotte. Arthur Bailey. He's actually has a Sabbath. He has a Sabbath on the internet. He has.
I'm gonna say this.
Michael Root.
Are you gonna believe Arthur Bailey, or are you gonna believe the scriptures? The
No, but
scriptures
I'm
come
asking
right
you the
out
same
with
question.
it. You know?
I've read this and I've studied that, and even from.
But we're reading it right now, and it's saying it's proving our point.
But you have to look. You have to read the whole thing and understand that there's two. You know what? I'm not going to agree with you, and you're not going to agree with me. But I will say this: at least we're searching, and we understand what Israel truly is. And it's not a bunch of white Christians sitting in a church.
Right. Yeah, Israel is a people, and
That's
it's it's those people on that side. Yup.
So do you guys keep the Tanakh? You guys follow the commandments because there's still
As much as we can,
today,
get
right?
there, we
Best
rehearse the
can.
righteous acts.
Ain't nobody follow the commandments 100%. But you do the best you can.
Right.
Or the ones
Right.
the ones that are applicable to us now, right?
Yeah, the ones that we can follow, we do follow.
Yeah.
right? So pretty much, yeah. I mean, it does go in terms of the weekly Sabbath.
Yeah.
You know, this is Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So if the new moon is the head of the first day of the month, you know, I don't see how you could say, you know, from 7 days from that wouldn't fall upon the Sabbath.
Yeah, it would still fall upon the same day.
So
You got that.
no. So
Go ahead and read that scripture real quick.
Judges chapter 5, verse 11. They that are delivered from the noise of orchards in the places of drawing water,
They that are delivered from the basically from the destruction of America, from this captivity. Go ahead.
there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
There shall they rehearse the righteous acts. So, what are the righteous acts? The Sabbaths, the feasts, you know, all the laws in the Bible. So we rehearse them. We rehearse them.
because it's all a
Because you
rehearsal,
can't,
right?
because you can't get it. You can't get it perfect
So how
here.
about Grand Hotel?
Right there.
So you guys how about the name?
Look at all the flags on the side
How
of the
about the
building.
name of the Almighty? Let's talk about that.
I'm being truthful, considering your friend right here.
Is that your brother?
No, he's my friend.
Oh, okay.
He's my brother in one way, but not my brother in family.
Right.
So how about the name?
So what is the name? What is the name that you know?
Well,
Please don't say. Let me just say this.
Actually,
Let me just say this before you say anything. Don't say Yahweh, Yeshua.
Yeah.
so what do you guys use?
No, no higher.
Let's see what you guys use.
Don't say
it back out.
See what the name is. What translation you using there?
You got it in
King James
Acts.
King James.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to get. That's about, yeah, I'll get it. I got Exodus 6 chapter. It's Exodus 6 and 1. Then the Lord, it's significant to pay attention to the Lord when it's in all caps. Said unto Moses, Now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with the strong hand shall he let them go, and with the strong hand shall he drive them out of his land. And the Most High spake unto Moses and said unto him, I am the Lord. Since you see in the English, it says Jehovah. Transliteration. In the Hebrew, when they put, it was known as a tetragrammaton. But the actual pronunciation, if you can receive it, if you're meant to receive it, is Yahweh.
Yahweh?
Yahweh.
Okay. So, but we do agree that it's the unit are the three, are the four We do agree that the Yud Hey Vav Hey are the
four consonant letters that they were called.
Which also three vowels.
That's what it means, it's four letters.
That's right.
Actually, I would actually, I'll let you with this. The Khazars actually got a hold of our language, Lashwan Madash, in like the early 800 AD.
Yeah.
And pretty much, they had access to our language. But pretty much they still don't